Hello and thanks for joining us on Nationwide. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I'm Elizabeth Omori. The Progressive Governors Forum has resolved to chart a pragmatic course towards the execution of the renewed mandate to govern APC by Nigerians in dismantling obstacles to national development for sustainable future of the country. Chairman of the forum and Governor of Kebbi State, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, announced this after leading the APC governors to an interactive session with President Muhammadu Buhari. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
This is the first formal meeting between President Muhammadu Buhari and members of the Progressive Governors Forum since the inauguration of new administrations at both the national and state levels. While the President and the returning members of the Forum are barely 3 weeks into their renewed mandate of consolidation for the newly elected governors of the party, it is still a learning period. To the Progressive Governors Forum, however, there is no better time than now to plan for a more coordinated approach towards making the next level agenda more decisive and impactful on Nigeria's national life. This meeting, held behind closed doors, was therefore convened to bring the President up to speed on strategies towards the implementation of the new initiatives for a better Nigeria.
We offer our support to work with Mr. President continuously to ensure that we increase economic performance and social cohesion. We will be very more active in ensuring that investment in all the areas that can provide employment and incomes rapidly will increase. We will collaborate more to ensure that security is enhanced, particularly where it involves conflicts that are across state borders.
Although the newly elected governors might not have benefited directly from the President's magnanimous gestures in the last 4 years, their respective states must have either felt or are still feeling their impact. And on this, the APC governors were unanimous in appreciating the Nigerian leader.
We are quite happy with his support for states, where over 2 trillion, close to 2 trillion naira was given in the form of restructuring of loans, refunds on federal roads, refund for Paris Club, which has helped encourage economic activity in the states, payment of salaries, payment of pension, payment of gratuities, and overall investment in the economy by infrastructure spending. We are equally appreciative of increased investment in agriculture, which has been because of conscious decision to support agriculture as a way out of our economic challenges and provide economic growth.
The governors used the opportunity to commend President Buhari for the giant strides recorded so far in the areas of security, economy, and public accountability. Despite the drop in incomes, they say the value for money, which the President has always insisted upon, has been paying off with significant results in critical sectors of the economy. The governors also appreciated the President for successfully celebrating the new National Democracy Day, not only consistent with his promise, but also a major element reflective of his democratic ideals, thereby putting to rest an issue so important to many Nigerians. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the European Union Election Observer Mission to Nigeria has explained that most of the recommendations contained in its report of the 2019 general elections in Nigeria requires legal reforms. The foreign mission stated this when it visited President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, as part of consultations for National Assembly's intervention. Ignatius Nkwo covered this meeting.
17 days after his election, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, had his first official meeting. It was with the European Union Election Observation Mission to Nigeria. The essence of the meeting is for the observer mission to officially present a copy of its report on the 2019 general elections in Nigeria to the legislative arm of government. The report, made of 30 recommendations, also appreciated the improvement Nigeria has made so far in its electoral process, but called for more.
Of those 30, we've identified 7 priority recommendations, but really our ultimate conclusion is that a process of comprehensive reform is needed.
President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, explained that the National Assembly has always embraced positive changes to the electoral process.
The INEC particularly is one institution that has been supported fully by the National Assembly and will continue to do that through legislation to improve its capacity, but also through appropriations to ensure that it gets whatever it requires for very credible and optimum organization, processing, and conduct of our elections.
Both parties re-echoed the existing relations between Nigeria and the European Union and harped on the need to strengthen the ties, especially in the areas of economic and political advancement.
And still on legislative matters, improved elective processes into state houses of assembly is seen by experts as a veritable means of making the legislature effective, efficient and strengthen democracy at that level where accountability and transparency are weak. Abdusalam Jubre reports that these were the views of discussants on NT's Good Morning Nigeria program this Tuesday.
Globally, the doctrine of separation of powers as a democratic norm has remained the hallmark ensuring good governance. In Nigeria, autonomy of key institutions of democracy, especially at the state level, is essential for democracy to thrive. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria have decried the lack of autonomy of state legislature for the last 20 years of democracy.
Godfatherism, executive excessive manipulation and control, and a lack of funding. So many that, has constituted a great impediment.
All of this is subsumed within a federal structure, which is what we run in this country. And that, the spotlight that the houses are coming under must begin to suggest to us that there is some element of dysfunctionality in how the various tiers of government are running.
Other guests stressed the need for proper education on legislative duties and called for strengthening of democratic institutions in the country.
Parliamentary Management Institute of Nigeria, where the essence is to train parliamentary staff.
I would recommend very strongly, by the way, that we have institutions within the institution of the legislature that will help members of the legislature.
They called on stakeholders to allow the legislature at the state level free hand to operate with the view to deepen democracy at the level of government for sustainable development. In Abuja, Abdusalam Jubre, NTA News.
And now to health. The United States Agency for International Development is taking advantage of the present administration's efforts to ensuring universal health coverage for Nigerians to launch its integrated health program in 3 states of Sokoto, Bauchi and Kebbi. The mission's director said all is set to hit the ground running. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday reports.
Records from the Federal Ministry of Health show that the most vulnerable groups in the society are mothers and children, who are always prone to the negative effects of various health problems that exist among the population. Nigeria has made notable progress, particularly in refocusing its attention to primary health care, maternal and child health. However, neonatal, infant and under 5 mortality is still a challenge. It is in a bid to further tackle the challenge that the American agency is partnering Nigeria and investing $225 million to strengthen health system which supports primary health care and services.
IHP will focus on improving quality maternity and newborn care in health facilities, on routine immunizations, malaria diagnosis and treatment of common childhood diseases, all of which data show will significantly reduce incidence of mortality of mothers and children.
Applying a life cycle approach and seize every opportunity to offer high impact, inclusive, gender sensitive health services. removing barriers to access and coverage.
Chief of Staff to the Kebbi State Governor Suleiman Mohammed Argungu spoke on behalf of the 3 benefiting states.
We will do everything possible to support this network and promote equity, quality, and dignity. We will strongly make quality of care as a priority within the framework of universal health coverage.
2 more states are to benefit from the 5-year program. Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
And still on health, the United States of America has reaffirmed its support to Nigeria Defense Ministry's efforts at reducing the spread of HIV/AIDS and other related diseases among military personnel, as well as civilians living around military barracks. The United States ambassador to Nigeria gave the assurance at the opening of the Site Commanders and Site Team Leaders meeting in Abuja.
Recent survey revealed that the military communities have high-risk environment for HIV transmission with a ratio of 14.67%. The Ministry of Defense, as part of its response mechanism in 2005, established the Health Implementation Program in collaboration with the United States Army Medical Research with a view to curtailing the scourge of HIV and AIDS amongst troops, their families and civilians living within their environs. The program since then has impacted meaningfully on human capacity development and provided infrastructural upgrade in several military health facilities across the country. The meeting of these 2 partners, therefore, is to evaluate the efficiency of the program for a proper direction and accessibility of the antiretroviral drugs, vaccination and laboratory facilities.
This is in addition to the enhanced research and interventional efforts to curb other infectious and non-communicable diseases.
We're working together to increase access to HIV/AIDS and malaria diagnosis and treatment, to improve the quality of family planning and reproductive health services, expand access to immunization for children and women. Nigeria also has one of the highest tuberculosis burdens in Africa, and we are working closely with our Nigerian partners to address that worsening problem.
The meeting is also expected to present a guideline for the steering committee for proper implementation.
And meetings like this allow us to be able to determine the best way to grow those by sharing best practices.
And we have this program that is cheap, accessible, and people can come there with confidentiality and they can get what they need. So by establishing the military facilities and people are coming there, they are more likely to benefit.
The Nigeria Defense Ministry and United States partnership is in consonance with the United Nations action against the scourge of HIV/AIDS and global response to the epidemic in Abuja. Doing Dia, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on NTA. Time now to join Hingino in the mega city for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Hingino.
Elizabeth, and it's good to see you. The directive by President Muhammadu Buhari to the Central Bank of Nigeria to blacklist companies and the banks involved in smuggling or dumping on any of the 43 non-eligible items for exchange has been applauded by some palm oil dealers and sellers in Lagos. Nenrat Nina Musa, who went around some markets, reports that palm oil, a major product produced in Nigeria, is one of such 42 non-eligible items which foreign exchange cannot be issued.
Statistics on palm oil exportation in Nigeria indicates that Nigeria is the 4th largest producer of palm oil in the world, accounting for 3% of global production. Data obtained from the Malaysian Palm Oil Council, MPOC, indicates that Nigeria's import of the product from top producers as at 2018 stood at 242,388 metric tons. According to the Nigerian Institute for Oil Palm Research, NIFOR, estimates for upstream palm oil production stands at 0.98 million metric tons as at 2018, while statistics on domestic consumption of palm oil in Nigeria as at the year 2017-2018 indicates a consumption rate of about 1.29 million metric tons. With an estimated population of over 200 million people and a high demand for palm oil, which is primarily driven by household consumption, the ban by President Muhammadu Buhari on the importation of palm oil and other 42 non-eligible items for exchange in the country is said to be a welcome development by stakeholders.
In a week before, we get more than 1,000 drums of 250 liters. But this time around, it's not up to like that. The moment they do it in that way, we stand to gain it. We stand to make gain because our production is going out and then we're making it.
In a month, we supply outside the country, like South Africa, almost 500 drums. So we need a help to be helping us so that we're going to bring it more quantity and supply.
If the price is going to be sustainable, everybody will appreciate it, will buy. And government will look into it to assist the local and the small-scale industry so that they can come up with something. This palm kernel will go around.
Some palm oil buyers describe Nigerian palm oil as the best oil in terms of quality, but are worried if the local production will meet up with the high demand. In Lagos, narrates Nina Musa, NTA News.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has reiterated his commitment to the safety of lives and property of residents, assuring that security will not be compromised in any part of the state. The governor gave his commitment while briefing the press at the end of an Emergency Security Council meeting alongside commanders of security formations and top government functionaries at the State House, Ikeja. Nosa Osula reports.
Explained that there would be an overhaul of the security architecture of the state, and the aim is to address the emerging security challenges, noting that the reorganization of the state security template is necessary in order to make the state safe for business and living.
But just to assure Lagosians and the populace that very, very important issues were brought to fore, issues that bordered on the safety of life and property, current issues around cultism, kidnapping, little armed robberies here and there. Everything that has to do with security challenges were discussed, and we've all set new levels of challenge for ourselves.
Governor Sanwo-Olu added that the reform would lead to a new engagement for security operatives and help in achieving efficiency in combating crime. He pleaded for cooperation from residents when the security plan is rolled out, as security is everyone's responsibility. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
The world's biggest video sharing website, YouTube, has opened a boot camp for 20 Nigerian content creators who have done well on the platform. Imole Ayotokede reports.
Cyber video culture is gaining more converts daily in Nigeria as more internet users are becoming content creators on YouTube. Apart from showcasing their talents, others share their stories in motion pictures, provide news, lifestyle vlogs, as well as beauty tips. For these reasons, Nigerians are among YouTube account holders who contribute to the 5,000 hours of video content uploaded on the platform every minute. It is to encourage the commendable efforts of these Nigerian creators that YouTube set up a week-long boot camp to broaden the scope of 20 developers who have gathered over 100,000 subscribers on their personal YouTube channels.
These creators are going through a series of workshops such as channel branding, content strategy, production, editing, creator responsibility, different workshops to make sure that we can accelerate their growth on YouTube.
Africa's largest TV network, the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, with its vibrant YouTube channels, intends to make its partnership with YouTube more productive.
It means that if you visit NTA libraries across the country, you're likely to meet content that is waiting to explode.
Famous content creator and superstar D'banj added razzmatazz to the opening night. Representatives of YouTube expressed optimism that the bootcamp for top content creators would inspire others to grow their channels. In Lagos, Imole Ayotokede, NTA News.
Let's take a commercial break. Nationwide continues shortly.
Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria is here to help you succeed. Smedan gives you entrepreneurship training that will make your business grow big. It can create access to finance. Smedan can help you prepare a good feasibility study and link you up with the finance institutions that would fund your business. It can also create access to market through local and international trade fairs, opportunity fairs, and exhibitions. Smedan also organizes programs to identify innovative entrepreneurs and promote their business ideas. Contact us at Plot 35, Port Harcourt Crescent, Area 11, Garki, Abuja, or visit our website www.smedan.gov.ng.
They are there at the crack of dawn. They are there busy preparing while we rise for our day. They are there silently, guarding, waiting, listening, and watching. They are there ready in the sky above and the waters below, in the blistering heat of the day, in the dead of night, willing, indefatigable, determined in the defense of the sovereignty of our country. They are our first line of defense and our last. They who have paid the ultimate price in defending us. They are fathers and uncles. They are mothers and sisters and girlfriends and boyfriends. They are brothers and cousins and best friends and neighbors. They are classmates, colleagues, and citizens of this nation. They are our defenders and deserve our respect, our prayers, our thoughts. Nigeria, please support our armed forces.
Enjoy the best of African football as NTA, Africa's largest television network and hotspots, Nigeria's foremost sports production and marketing company, bring you all 52 matches of the Africa Cup of Nations, Egypt 2019 live from June 21 to July 19, 2019. Yes, all 52 games will hit your screens in crystal clear digital quality. It's your guarantee of a memorable viewing experience and a wonderful cost-effective opportunity for corporate Nigeria to reach tens of millions of Nigerians. For sponsorship and commercial support, contact Abubakar on 0803-331-0175 and Felix on 0803-308-2375. Hot Sports, masters of the game. NTA, you can't beat the reach.
Thanks for staying with us. The Joint International Republican and the National Democratic Institute have released their final report on the 2019 general elections with 5 key recommendations ahead of the 2023 general elections. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The 2019 general elections marked the 20th anniversary of the country's transition to democratic rule. The international observers believe that the elections highlighted for many Nigerians the need for a national conversation about the progress made since that transition and the vulnerabilities that must be overcome to make electoral processes more credible and the country's democracy more resilient. For the 2019 general elections, the two bodies urged Nigerian stakeholders to seriously consider their recommendations bordering on legal framework and election dispute resolution, election administration, political parties' conduct, civic engagement, and election security.
It's important that very soon a serious discussion happens about improvements or adjustments to the electoral process so that those things can be codified into law and preparations can be made to apply those new regulations and rules into future elections.
We see it, the vitality of this country, just the tremendous resources that Nigeria disposes, human capital, material resources. We know what Nigeria can contribute to the Nigerian people, what it means to the Nigerian people, but what this country can contribute to Africa and to the world.
Election stakeholders feel that INEC has improved significantly in the electoral process, pointing out that more can still be done in future elections.
They did not dispute the eventual outcome of the elections. They pointed out the deficiencies. For instance, they quoted the independent collation system of YAIGA, and they quoted it with approval, that it actually at the end of the day reflected the overall wishes of Nigerians.
The joint final report builds on the findings and recommendations of 3 pre-election assessment missions in July 2018, September 2018 and December 2018, as well as preliminary statements released following the February 23, 2019 presidential and National Assembly elections and the March 9, 2019 governorship and state houses of assembly elections. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Still on electoral matters, ensuring continuous improvement in the process of conducting elections in Nigeria and the efficient deployment of men and materials are the vision of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. This necessitated a nationwide review by the electoral umpire of its conduct of the 2019 general elections to improve delivery of logistics in future elections. Olabode Arewa reports.
The review covers general preparation for elections, issuance and collection of permanent voter cards, voter education, publicity, procurement and distribution of electoral materials, role of security operatives and the media, as well as civil society organizations. In Port Harcourt, stakeholders in the electoral process re-examine the successes of the last general elections and lessons to be learned on improving the process.
As a commission committed to conducting free, fair, and credible and peaceful elections in Nigeria with an outcome that will inspire the confidence of Nigerians, this review is therefore necessary.
In Katsina State, the one-day workshop involved electoral officers. The meeting noted the need for more voter education about the voting process and ensuring effective
according to law.
3 suspects in 2 different operations involving 2 vessels, MV Chebube and MV Blessing. The commanding officer, Forward Operation Base, Captain Kolawole Oguntuaga, while handing over the suspects to EFCC, said the Nigerian Navy aggressive patrol of the seaways and elaborate surveillance was instrumental to the arrest.
We have acquired platforms. We have the AIS system, we have the Regional Maritime Awareness Capability System, including the Falcon Eye facility. We use all these to gather information to be able to pinpoint where these illegal activities are being taking place. And the strategy in place has been very effective.
We're going to go into deep or district investigation to find out if the suspect on board who are found called for possible prosecution.
MV Chebube was laden with 750 tons of illegally refined automated gasoline oil, AGO, while MV Blessing had 80 tons of AGO before they were apprehended. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
And still on security, Governor Abubakar Sani Bello of Niger State has sympathized with communities in Shiroro local government area recently attacked by suspected bandits. Fatima Usman reports.
Available records shows that 2,004 people were affected, including male, female, and children, with 4 deliveries so far recorded in the IDP camp. Out of this number, 35 people were confirmed dead, with many others sustaining various degrees of injuries as a result of gunshots by the suspected bandits and are presently receiving medical attention. One of the victims, Danju Matanko, narrated their ordeal, while Muhammad Kabir Abdullahi of Alawa community appealed to the state government to take adequate measure to address the security challenges.
We are running, we are shooting us, and all of them, they are on top of motorcycle, Honda, new one.
We are appealing to the governor. Here's the game reserve is belong to the state government. Let them release the place. Let farmer enter to farm there, because that is the actual place that they used to hide themselves.
Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, who described the unfortunate incidents as uncalled for, assured that government has put in place measures aimed at tackling banditry in the state, including posting of the Joint Security Task Force to keep vigil of the affected areas.
We have to do our best so that they go back home. Then we'll look at a comprehensive plan for providing more security.
The village head of Kwakiwaje, Alhaji Balabawa, urged the government to hasten action in taking measures that will end insecurity bedeviling the area. I am Fatima Usman, NTA News.
And we're not done with security yet. The Nigerian Navy says it is critical for Nigerians to understand the complexities of its forward operations in the Niger Delta and Nigeria's maritime domain as a whole. Correspondent Najat Tijani, who is part of a media team touring the Niger Delta with the Navy, has an update on some activities, the working conditions and environmental impact.
We're currently on site at a place called Yeye, which is actually the location of an illegal oil refinery. Right here, this is a site that has been destroyed by fire, and now a swamp buggy in the background is destroying some of the materials used in this illegal refinery. All around me as well, the ground is full of oil, crude oil, the impact on the environment. Ideally, the soil here is supposed to be this color, which is like a brownish color, but it is black. So I'm wading almost knee deep in water in the area where some of these illegal oil refinery activities take place. Earlier on when we came, there was no water, but now that the tide is rising, I'm having to use this stick to make sure I know where I'm stepping, because some areas are quite swampy, quite deep, and one has to place his foot carefully.
While many Nigerians do not have to face these conditions, this is the normal drill for men of the Nigerian Navy in their sustained operations against crude oil theft, pipeline vandalism, and other illegal activities within Nigeria's maritime domain. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
This is Nationwide on NTA. Time now to link up with Mohammed in Maiduguri for more reports. Hello, Mohammed.
Hello, Elizabeth. Thank you and welcome to Maiduguri. Borno State government has re-emphasized its commitment to restoration of civil authorities as well as revival of farming, social and economic activities in the local government areas that were once occupied and devastated by Boko Haram, now under reconstruction. Governor Babagana Umara stated the position of government during an assessment tour of Kalabalge, Gamborungala, Dikwa and Mafa local government areas where returning communities are picking up their lives. Mohammed Goni reports.
Top on the priorities of the present administration in Borno are provision of security, resuscitation of agricultural activities, empowerment as well as good governance and building resilience among the teeming populace. Addressing the people of Kala Belge, Gamborungala, Dikwa and Mapa, Professor Babagana Umara expressed commitment to protecting lives and property, provision of sufficient food to the people, enhanced quality education and healthcare delivery services, among others. In each of the local government areas, the governor assured civilian JTF and vigilante that government will give them the necessary support and logistics, including patrol vehicles to complement the military in their areas so that farmers can get access to their farmlands. According to the governor, government has procured excavators to dig trenches to fortify the areas and to safeguard farmers on their farmlands, the work of which has already commenced in Ran and other communities. Professor Babagana Umara also announced support for farmers to encourage rainy and dry season farming, empower business community, and train youth in various skills in Ran and other communities.
We have started addressing the root causes of the problem. What we are trying to do is, first of all, to ensure that security is being provided. And then secondly, the issue of access to farmlands, so that people shall go to their farmlands.
He further announced reopening of some communities to kickstart farming activities in the area and to resettle IDPs. Governor Babagana Umara also presented food items in Ran, headquarters of Kala Belge, to ensure food sufficiency in the area. A similar exercise was also held in Ngala town. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
With the commencement of the rainy season, the International Committee of the Red Cross has distributed seeds and farming tools to over 20,000 households in Borno State to enable them engage in agricultural practice this farming season. The distribution is an annual exercise by the ICRC, targeting mostly individuals and communities affected by the insurgency. Maimuna Garba reports.
The gesture by the International Committee of Red Cross is to enable residents of Borno State grow food and ensure food security in the state, having suffered huge losses due to the insurgency. This is the second phase of the distribution, targeting 10,000 households from Jere and Maiduguri Metropolitan Council. Already, the Red Cross had distributed seeds and farming tools with food items to 16,000 households in Monguno town, as the food items given was to protect the seeds so that the people will not tamper with the seed during the farming season.
ICIC decided to provide seeds and tools to farmers in Jere and MMC because we discovered that after the assessment, we discovered that their main livelihood is farming. And then, according to the agency, people lack seeds and tools.
The seeds given to the households include maize, rice, sesame, and roselle, as well as rakes and hoes. The beneficiaries are sure to make good use of the items.
We are very, very proud of Red Cross.
This property that we are being given now is going to assist us in making our farming well.
They were appreciative of the Red Cross for coming to their aid this farming season. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
Time again to take some commercial messages. Nationwide continues in a moment.
One Football Confederation, 24 teams, 6 stadiums, 4 cities, 504 African stars, 1 trophy. The Africa Cup of Nations Egypt 2019 comes alive from June 21 with the showpiece final on July 19, 2019. Watch the 52 matches of the tournament live on Africa's biggest and largest television network, NTA, in partnership with Hotsports. Be part of the biggest soccer fiesta in the African continent as the Super Eagles go on a bold mission to clinch the prestigious title for the 4th time, to the excitement of millions of fans across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Nigeria's premier sports production and marketing group, Hotsports, partners with the biggest, the largest, and the #1 television network in Africa, the NTA, to give Nigerians a memorable viewing experience. Boost fan support for the Super Eagles to glory in Egypt. For inquiries, please contact Abubakar on 0803 331 0175 and Felix on 0803 308 2375. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
The Nigerian national flag is a sacred national symbol. It is a mark of patriotism and a show of love for our nation to fly the national flag correctly, in the right colors, right dimension, and in the right sizes for each occasion. In recent times, it has been noticed that government offices, corporate organizations, banks, embassies, and other notable institutions fly faded, shredded, and haggard-looking versions of the national flag. This is wrong and must stop. It has also been noticed that some citizens prefer to popularize the national flag of other nations. Fellow countrymen and women, let us be patriotic. Come, let us show love for our motherland. Fly the correct versions of our national flag in all relevant places. Be patriotic. Be proud ambassadors of our great country.
This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, armed conflicts in Nigeria have forced an estimated 2 million people to flee from their homes. Many of them are now internally displaced, while others have sought refuge in neighboring countries. The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons is working tirelessly to respond to the most urgent needs of the affected families. Obiageli Uwoke reports.
They are all refugees, but each individual has a different story to tell.
From the story of critical food shortage to affliction and abuse of their human rights.
We've taken our campaigns to the grassroots.
Mrs. Sadia Omar Farouk is the Federal Commissioner on National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons. She is collaborating with ECOWAS and the United Nations High Commission for Refugees to raise awareness on the situation of refugees, not just in Nigeria, but across the globe.
So it is very important that people should identify with them and support them, and that is why this year's theme is Hush a Step with Refugees. So we're taking a step together with them.
We are investing in livelihoods, and of course we are working with many other interlocutors that are interested in these issues to make sure that we have the resources.
So the dialogue is going on at the regional level with our partners wherever they are, in Europe, in Africa, to continue to support, mixed migration and to see the positive benefits of it.
The importance of empowering refugees and internally displaced persons was raised, as it is believed that it will assist in reducing the level of poverty on IDP camps. The government of Nigeria also received a pat on the back for its repatriation efforts and accommodating refugees from neighboring countries. Representatives of the various agencies appealed to all governments of the world, civil society organizations, and all philanthropists to help in sharing the burden of those who have been forced to leave their homes. Obiageli Ugoke, NTA News.
The national president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Samson Ayokunle, has been re-elected for another tenure. A statement released by Pastor Adebayo Olajide says in an election led by Reverend Father Hassan Kuka, Reverend Ayokunle scored 59, while his contender, Elder Caleb Ahima of Tekan Ekwa, scored 44. According to the CAN Constitution, Ahima now becomes the vice president. Bishop Kuka charged the leadership of CAN to work for the unity of the association. CAN president also urged church leaders to work in unity with the leadership of CAN. The Emir of Dutse, Dr. Nuhu Mohammed Sanusi, has advised Nigerian media to always take a cue from the way Nigerian Television Authority is promoting national peace and tolerance among diverse ethnic groups. The Emir stated this while receiving the Executive Director, Administration and Training of the Nigerian Television Authority, Dr. Steve Ebo, who visited him at his palace. Awal Mohammed Kazari reports.
Receiving the Executive Director in company of the General Manager of NTA Dutse, Abdullahi Garba Burnun Kudu, the Emir commended NTA for leading the way in news management and promotion of traditional heritage. He pledged to continue to serve as a bridge between the state government and the NTA to move the station in Dutse forward.
NTA Dutse is our station. We do whatever it takes to support. We will do it either linking local communities or government or we ourselves. We're going to work with them. Inshallah, if you come by next year, you'll see some improvements sponsored by this America and the NTA.
While in Jigawa State, the Executive Director, Administration and Training held an interactive session with the staff of NTA Dutse, where he charged them to key into government next level agenda in producing good programs.
We must work together to build the Nigeria of our dreams. There is a Nigeria we expect. We don't have it yet. It is a work in progress. And with what is happening, with the commitment and determination and dedication of Mr. President, I think we are going to get there.
I think the visit is timely because it's an opportunity for us to show him how we are faring. Having assumed duty last 1 year, we have gone a long way in terms of transforming the place, improvising in some areas, and also using the limited resources we're having to move NTA Dutse forward.
The Executive Director was conducted around facilities in the station. From Dutse, Awal Muhammad Kazaure, NTA News.
Let's now talk road safety. The advocacy for safer Nigerian roads is gaining more grounds, with more groups sensitizing Nigerian public on road safety and traffic management. The latest is the Road Users Development of Nigeria, which acknowledged NTA's contribution to safer roads during a courtesy visit to the Director General. Fatima Umar Buba reports.
That sets the tone for discussion during the courtesy visit by Road Users Network of Nigeria to NTA to further champion the cause for safer roads and traffic management. President of the network, John Uket, is seeking partnership with NTA to promote citizen-based and friendly approach to road safety measures to mitigate road accidents in Nigeria.
As you are aware, you know that the road forms a critical part of our social life. There is no man that will not have access to the road and will become a better person. And as such, each time a challenge on the road is solved, it means the economic well-being of the nation, of the people, has been enhanced.
The Director General of NTA, represented by the Executive Director Admin and Training, Dr. Steve Egbu, expressed NTA's willingness to partner in any venture that will promote Nigeria's development, unity and integration.
Let me say that you have come to the right place with the NTA, because the NTA is a very critical agency when it comes to developmental efforts in Nigeria today.
The Road Users Network of Nigeria is also known as Traffic Update Family. Fatima Umar Buba, NTA News.
Anyway, from road safety, the foundation stone of a multi-billion naira rice mill has been laid by the Katsina State Governor, Aminu Bello Masari. The project, which is the first of its kind in the state, is intended to transform Katsina State from a smuggling rice entry point into commercially viable rice-producing state. Correspondent Abdul Malik Hassan reports.
The quantum of foreign rice being smuggled into Nigeria through the borders in Katsina State is quite unprecedented. However, the multi-billion naira rice mill project, with a capacity to produce over 300,000 metric tons of rice annually, will change that narrative. After laying the foundation for the project in Katsina, Governor Masari said the initiative is answering the clarion call of President Muhammadu Buhari to make Nigerians self-reliant in rice production. He says he was happy to know that the company will provide direct and indirect job opportunities to people in the state, especially the youth. In Katsina, Abdul Malik Hassan, NTA News.
Now, massive deforestation for use as firewood and charcoal, as well as declining rainfall, are major causes of ecological imbalances leading to sustained drought, a recipe for desert encroachment. As the world marks the 2019 Day for Combating Desertification, the reality on ground in the Sahelian parts of Borno and Yobe states is a growing concern over environmental degradation as a result of desertification. Abubakar Mohammed Musa tells us more.
It is the 25th anniversary of the convention spearheaded by the United Nations that adopted the World Day for Combating Desertification. Against the background of the 2019 theme, Let's Grow the Future Together, the international community has since 1994 intensified efforts towards restoration of degraded environments in over 100 countries. On the northern fringes of Sahelian part of Borno and Yobe states is the Sahara Desert, encroaching at a scale of more than 6 kilometers annually.
Borno State has gone through almost 12 protracted drought period. Desertification has also increased alarming. It has actually reached a stage which we ecological scientists call an irreversible point of no return.
Desertification is approaching the Maiduguri town in a very fast rate. The encroachment is still expected, which requires serious intervention by environmentalists and to the citizenry.
Some of the factors aiding the advancement of the desert are the massive felling of trees, overgrazing, destruction of shelter belts and vegetative cover as a result of the Boko Haram insurgency.
In most locations in northern Borno, we have areas that has been seriously degraded by the activity of Boko Haram insurgency. So the issue of nurturing our shelter belt is no longer there.
This have affected ecological balance, increasing drought, sandstorms, and other climatic conditions. Experts have advocated creating of an enabling environment for effective land management, reduction of conflicts, reducing logging through provision of alternative sources of energy for cooking, and aggressive tree planting as shelter belt. Let's Grow the Future Together is therefore a recipe for global action to check the menace of desertification through concerted efforts that can lead to achievement of sustainable goals for enhancement of biodiversity and food security. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Muhammad Musa, NTA News.
Now to matters of concern. After 3 weeks of the disappearance of a 3-day-old baby from the Plateau Specialist Hospital, respite has come the way of the parents following the discovery and reuniting of the baby with her parents. Blikisu Nuhu has an update.
This is the scenario at the gynae ward of the hospital as friends, family and well-wishers troop to celebrate with the Chukwuebukas as their baby is returned to them. Chief Medical Director of the hospital, Dr. Philemon Golwa, who handed over the child to the parents, commended the police and hospital staff for their effort at ensuring that the baby is found and returned safely to her family.
We believe that today we celebrate with everybody, we celebrate with the parents, we celebrate with the staff, the media and everybody that has contributed and supported this family on the recovery of the baby.
The elated parents expressed gratitude to God for sparing the life of their child and appreciated efforts of all well-meaning individuals and groups for their support.
It's not been easy at all, so I cannot even express my happiness alone.
Hospital and the police and good Nigerians who help in one way or the other with their prayer, their consoling and everything. I really thank everybody.
Baby Gift Chukwuebuka, who was born on the 28th of May 2019, was stolen on May 31st when a woman who disguised as a hospital staff came to take her for a laboratory test and never returned with the baby. Information on who the culprit is and circumstances surrounding the theft incidents is being discreetly handled by the Plateau State Police Command. In Jos, Bilikisu Nuhu, NTA News.
In our sports, Nigeria's Super Eagles are now in Alexandria for their AFCON group matches. Correspondent Oche Ngbede recalls Nigeria's record in the Eagles' attempt to earn a 4th title. Details in our AFCON countdown.
The battle line has been drawn and the 24 teams are qualified for the 2019 African Cup of Nations and now in last-minute preparation for the 32nd AFCON. Nigeria in Group B alongside Guinea, Madagascar and Burundi. Ahead of kickoff on June 21st, fans of the Super Eagles are confident that, based on the record of the 3 group members, it appears the Super Eagles are going to have their easiest group stage run ever in the history of the competition. Since 1957, when the first AFCON tournament was held, Guinea has qualified for only 12 editions, while Madagascar and Burundi are debutants in Egypt 2019. Nigeria's first appearance in the African Cup of Nations was in 1963, when they were drawn in a group with Sudan and the United Arab Republic, now Egypt, but they did not advance to the next stage. The team withdrew from 2 African Cup of Nations between